Samo High Vikings, who made the trip down the 405 from Santa Monica High School. This game takes on great significance for both teams as they're playing for the Bay League Championship. Leuzinger must win tonight in order to claim the Bay League title. I'm joined in the booth tonight by Mike Korotowski, who's sitting in with us for a second time, and of course my regular partner and color commentator, Alex Manila. And this is the first play from scrimmage for the Leuzinger Olympians. Of course, Zach Odom is at quarterback. Zach drops back to pass. He goes toward his sideline. He's got a man there, and he drops it. That pass falls incomplete, intended for Richie Jacobs.
On that play, it looked like Odom was going down deep, hoping for a quick, easy yardage from Jacobs. Jacobs ran off the side of the yards of the near sideline a little bit, and the water was all over the ball, so maybe the conditions will play their part on both teams tonight.
But we got a bit of a late start, fence, so we'll try to set the stage for you. It's a 2nd down and 10 for the Olympians from the 20-yard line. Once again, they keep the ball on the ground this time, going around the left end, and then picked up a very short yardage on it. That was Damon Whitmore carrying. As Alex alluded earlier, we do have some rather unusual playing conditions, in as much as it's raining in Southern California, and they promised me, Alex, that it never rains in Southern California. How might that affect tonight's contest?
Well, like they say, it goes both ways. The conditions for Mako, the Santa Monica quarterback, it'll play his part too. Right now, they could try on the ground. It didn't look too successful there, the Olympians.
On the 3rd down play, Odom drops back to pass once again. Looks like he may pull it down, and he does. He's coming up the sideline. He's hit hard, very hard by number 55 on the Santa Monica defense. And we don't even see him in our lineup. We'll have to find out who that masked man was.
Whoever he was, he showed no mercy there.
55, the masked Avenger for Santa Monica tonight, with a big hit on Zach Odom, almost out of bounds. Leuzinger going to punt.
It's a 4th down situation for the Olympians, and of course they're deep in their own territory at their own 29-yard line, so they will punt in this situation. Jeff Loudon with the punt, and it's a good punt by Jeff this time, taken at the 33-yard line by Santa Monica. Return man goes around right side, and he brings the ball out to near midfield. So it's a 17-yard return of the Jeff Loudon punt for Santa Monica, and they go on offense for the first time tonight.
2 big games in a row for the Leuzinger Olympians. Last week against crosstown rival Hawthorne. This week for the Bay League Championship. And after last week's game, this is going to be hard to top that one. 13-13 tie.
Well, I want to help you out there, Mike. The intensity is a lot different. Last week was for rivalry, crosstown rivalry, and bragging rights. Tonight's game is for everything, the whole marbles, the championship. There's a lot more riding on it.
So it's the 1st and 10 for Santa Monica from the 49-yard line, and they keep the ball on the ground, picking up about 2 yards on the carry, moving the ball over into the Leuzinger side of the field.
With the rain coming down, steady drizzle, I'd call it. Probably going to see a lot more running than passing, but you'd see a lot more running and passing with both these teams anyway, both big running teams.
Exactly, Corey. And on the play, once again, they keep it on the ground. It's Harper, their number 1 running back, and Mark Harper picks up about 13 yards on the carry.
Well, Harper there, Rufus, he's simply awesome. He scored 22 total touchdowns already. In only 8 games, he's also gained 1,325 yards. That's a lot for a senior in high school.
I can remember earlier in the season when I covered Santa Monica against the Hawthorne Cougars, they ran the ball on every offensive play except one, and Harper was the man in that game. This time they're going to the air early, however, and they've got an open receiver, but it falls short. The quarterback there was unable to get the ball to his receiver, who was wide open. Should have been a touchdown, Santa Monica.
The first casualty of the rainy weather. Santa Monica receiver slipped on the field. Field looks to be in pretty bad condition toward the end of a football season. The middle of the field's pretty torn up, and it's not going to get any better as the rain comes down. And now it's turned into officially a rain now and not a drizzle. I'll announce it. And I'd like to thank the weathermen. They were actually right. They did predict rain tonight. Good job, man.
And unlike baseball, this game will go on, rain or not. And on the play, the Vikings keep the ball on the ground. Once again, Mark Harper If you get tired of hearing that name tonight, don't blame us, folks. That's the guy that they go to primarily on the ground. He carries it quite often.
Talking about what you said about seeing Santa Monica earlier this season, last week they ran 60 times and passed once. We've seen their one pass tonight, so an aerial attack if they throw any more than this.
So once again, they come up in the I formation as expected. They keep it on the ground, giving it off to the first man through, and it's going to be close to a first down.
Well, Rufus, that was Damian Lunetta, their other rusher, the rusher they go to when Harper isn't being used. Against Hawthorne, he rushed for 167 yards on 22 carries, and he scored about 5 touchdowns. He's gained 560 yards, so he's their second workhorse.
As Steve Carnes said in last week's interview with Alex, this is what all high school ball players play for, and that's a division championship and the league title on the line tonight.
So it's a 1st and 10 from the 27-yard line for Santa Monica. They're driving. This time the Leuzinger defense is up to the task and stops them after a short gain. The Olympian defense will obviously be tested tonight with the Santa Monica running game, and it'll be up to them if they want to pull this game out and win the championship to shut it down. I can only reference again, having seen Hawthorne's inability to do it. I mean, it's just that good a running attack, and the Olympians have a major task in front of them. Once again, they keep the ball on the ground. Looks like Mark Harper again, and this time he spins left and right for a couple of yards. We'll bring up a 3rd down.
Well, the visiting Vikings from Santa Monica, they thrive on a defense such as Leuzinger because they are relatively the same as a Hawthorne type of defense, and the Vikings just tore them up. They beat Hawthorne pretty handedly, and Curtis Conway had a field day, 17 of 36, but the Vikings ended up coming out victoriously.
On the 3rd down and 5 from the 22, they come up to the line. There's a pitch back to Mark Harper, and he's taken off of his feet handily by the Leuzinger defender. That was Marvin Johnson with an excellent defensive play. Stops him for no gain, brings up a 4th down for the Santa Monica High School Vikings.
Not much strategy on the Santa Monica part. There's 22 guys on offense and defense packed around the center, and they're just going to run the football. They haven't split a person out in now a few downs in a row. They've got the double tight offense, and they come at you telling you, hey, we're going to run the football on you.
And that was excellent coverage by the Leuzinger defender on what looked to be a promising option play that was taken completely away from him. And on the 4th and 6, they're going for it here with 7 minutes left in the first quarter. And they're going to pick it up easily. That's Mark Harper. Again, that's what I spoke about earlier. You got to be able to stop them. That's 4th and long, and they go on it without any hesitation.
A big problem last week, Rufus, and you talked about it several times. Leuzinger giving up way too many 4th down and long situations to the offensive Hawthorne, and now you saw Santa Monica take advantage of a 4th and 6.
Shows a lot of confidence there in Santa Monica. Went right by Quan Banks on that play.
And from the 4-yard line, on 1st and goal, Mark Harper takes it close to the goal line. Looks like he's at about the 2-yard line. It'll bring up a 2nd and goal from the 2 for Santa Monica, as they're looking to strike first against the home team, Leuzinger Olympians.
I hate to sound like Fritz Coleman, but the rain has stopped all of a sudden.
Yes, it has. And I'm particularly thankful. I'm sure you guys are too. And there's the touchdown, Mark Harper. With 6 minutes, 12 seconds left in the first quarter, Santa Monica draws first blood behind Mark Harper, the running of Mark Harper for a touchdown. And here comes the extra point attempt. And just as we've seen in the last 2 or 3 weeks, Leuzinger has fallen behind early. Most times they're able to come back. However, against this team, you don't want to get too far behind because it can be an ominous task to get back into it. There's a conversion attempt. It's up and it's good.
However, there's a penalty flag on the play.
The flag on the play, we'll have to see what the call is. Looks like it's going to be assessed on the kickoff. So that makes the score now 7-0 in favor of Santa Monica midway through the first quarter.
Nothing fancy about that drive. Santa Monica just putting their heads down and rushing the football. A long drive. eats up about half of the first quarter, and they're up 7-0. Very impressive drive to open the football game, and that's what you like to see as a football coach. Take command of the game early, tell them what you're going to do, and then go out and do it.
Well, this is a very big test for the Olympians. This is the kind of opponent they will be facing in league. I mean, going into the CIF playoffs, they're going to be facing a team like this. Their average weight here is, how much did they say? 237 pounds. Santa Monica, they contribute to their weight. Just their front line is just that much weight. Where Leuzinger only averages 190. 190 is their heaviest players, so they're going to come up against teams like this, so it's to their advantage that they get tested on now, even if it does cost them the championship.
Those are extremely big guys if you're averaging 230 pounds across your offensive line, and that will make it even more difficult for the Olympians to defend. Of course, the big play in that last drive was a 4th down conversion, 4th and 6. And the Olympians simply couldn't do it. Here's the kickoff, and it sails into the end zone for a touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 20-yard line, and the Olympians will go on their second offensive drive of the game from their own 20-yard line.
Now, when you're averaging 220, 225 pounds on an offensive line, that's awfully big for a high school football team. And if I had a line that big, I think, like the Santa Monica coach, I'd run the ball too.
I'm not sure they're ready to be called hogs yet, as with the Washington Redskins, but they can be called baby pigs, that's for sure.
No plugs, no plugs.
And on the first down play, the Olympians keep it on the ground, and they're going to pick up about 5 yards on the carry. That was Henry Benz, number 32, with the carry.
On the tackle for the Vikings.
Well, what I think that the Olympians are trying to do right now, the Carnes is seeing that the ball is a little wet. They put it up in the air, you know, you're going to have a 50-50 chance of catching it. So they want to balance it out. They want to see just how tough that defensive line is for Santa Monica.
Here you see the offense. Odom at quarterback, Whitmore and Camillo in the backfield, Jeff Loudon at tight end, Tyrone Scott and Richie Jacobs are the wideouts. McMillan, Spear, Justice, Guile and Benson, the offensive line for Leuzinger.
And of course, we've got an injured Olympian down on the field, and as soon as we can find out who that is, we'll pass it along to you. But while we've got a moment, we might, as Corey did mention earlier, the rain has let up some. I would wonder, who do you think that might favor, Alex, with a change in the weather from the rain to somewhat more dry conditions?
Well, I would think there again you have to go for the home team. It's their advantage. They know what fields they have, what sides of the fields get wetter or they have more trouble with. You know they'll use it to their advantage. Whereas Santa Monica, they're probably used to this kind of weather. But even if they're not, it takes a lot of, got to give them a lot of credit just coming down here and scoring as quickly as they did.
Injured player was lineman John Guilfoyle, walked off on his own, and he seems to be okay on the sidelines, not limping too badly.
Well, the rains go and the rains come, and now the rains have visited upon us again. I think that's pretty much what we're going to be in for all night. Once again, we'll see another timeout on the field. The Olympians have taken one. Coach Carnes has gone out now to consult with his team. And I'm certain one of the things that he wants to do now is really try to establish his offense. We know last week against Hawthorne, it was very long in getting established, and in fact, they were only able to get 2 scores in, although they got inside the 20-yard line on at least, by my count, 5 occasions. Normally came away with 2 scores. In fact, they were inside the 10 on a couple of times and came up empty. They can't afford that tonight.
The Leuzinger offense we saw last week is definitely not the same one we've seen all year. Now, whether that was because they were playing a great Hawthorne Cougar team or maybe they were just misfiring, I'm not sure. But you're right, they did blow several chances deep in Hawthorne territory last week. And you can't make mistakes like that against good teams like Hawthorne and Santa Monica.
A lot of times that week long, maybe they're a day in advance, or maybe they're a day too late, because it is Thursday. Veterans Day is tomorrow. They used to play on Friday nights, and a Thursday, the extra day of practice, they could have used it to their advantage. Who knows? Only time will tell.
It's an excellent point.
Excellent point, Alex. And let me add to that, and Corey referenced this earlier, the emotional impact of coming off such a high emotional game last week against Hawthorne, and now you're playing for the league championship tonight. You know, can you get back up that quickly? You know,
we'll find out.
Well, it's a 2nd down and 5 from the 25 for the Olympians. They keep it on the ground once again, and they pick up about 3 yards on the play. which should make him about 2 yards short of the first down.
Very close to first down edge, however, he is short.
Like to repeat Alex's point, that's an excellent point. Playing one day early, it doesn't sound like that big a thing, but that cuts down a whole day of practice off your week, and it just throws your timing off a little bit. Something is different about this week as opposed to every other week in the year, and we'll see if it affects either team. So far, it hasn't looked like it's affected Santa Monica.
Well, it's a big 3rd down and 1 play for the Olympians. They want to keep this drive alive from the 29-yard line. They're in an I formation. Zach Odom, of course, is the quarterback, and he keeps it on the ground. Oh, there's a pitch out, and it's incomplete. That's going to bring up a 4th down for the Olympians. And a couple of the fans in the stands were a bit unhappy with that call. Yeah.
Quick screen on the right flat to Richie Jacobs, and again, maybe the ball was a little slippery. It's now starting to rain harder than it has all night, and the ball's got to be slick. It's tough to catch when it's slick like this.
Of course, it's a 4th and 1 for the Olympians from their own 29-yard line. We've got 5 minutes left in the first quarter, and Santa Monica is leading by a score of 7-0. Jeff Loudon back to punt, gets off a high punt, and a fair catch is signaled for at the 40-yard line. There's a fumble, and it looks like it may have been recovered by the Olympians. And it was Danny Al on the fumble recovery for the Olympians, and that was a turnover that they desperately needed. Gives them excellent field position at the 40-yard line of Santa Monica.
And Danny Al, number 20, the little hitman for the Olympians. He's always there when they kick the ball off. Fair catches. He's right in the face of the receivers, and there it is. He practices all week long on practices, and now it's paying off in the game. Little Danny Al.
So from the 41-yard line, it's 1st and 10 for the Olympians. This time they keep it on the ground once again, and they pick up about 4 yards on the carry. That's Henry Benz coming around the right side with the carry. So maybe that turnover will give the Olympians a bit of momentum here and see if they can get their offense going.
I'll say it one last time, and then I'll retire it. Turnover's the most important statistic in any football game, and with the rain coming down like this, I think you're going to see a lot of dropped balls like that one. The punt, he called for the fair catch and just let it slip through.
It's a 2nd down and 6 from the 36-yard line for the Olympians now. They're in Santa Monica territory, and there's the handoff, and there's good room by Henry Benz. Excellent carry as Benz breaks inside the 20-yard line, down near the 15. They're going to spot it back at the 20.
Now it looks like the Olympians are getting the momentum they've been looking for. They're coming off that Hawthorne Cougar game, so emotionally drained maybe, and now they're starting it back up. Danny Al gets the recovery. Henry Brents breaks for the big play. Who knows what can happen? If they score now, it'll be an even ball game.
So 1st and 10 from the 19-yard line. And we've got a whistle from the official, and we'll have to see what the call is. There were no flags on the play. I'm not sure what he's going to call here. It's coming down to the far side of the Leuzinger bench. It's an official timeout. They're going over to check with the scorekeeper. I'm not sure if there was a clock malfunction or what, but it has nothing to do with either team.
I don't know about you guys, but I went to school up in Maryland down the hill, and I'm not used to weather like this. You know, we're above the rain up there.
You played a lot of your games in a day, too.
Exactly.
Well, while we've got a break in the action, let's give the fans a hand also. We've got an excellent turnout tonight, again, under inclement conditions. These fans could have chosen to stay at home and wait for our broadcast on Channel 60. However, they know what's at stake here. The Bay League Championship's at stake, and they wanted to be out here live in force rooting their team on, and I commend them for that type of spirit and support.
Yeah, the smart ones brought their umbrellas. It looks like there's more umbrellas on the Santa Monica side, though.
Yeah, I noticed none of us brought an umbrella, so that says how smart we are.
So it's a 1st down and 10 from the 19-yard line for the Olympians when play resumes. There are 4 minutes, 6 seconds left in the first quarter. Santa Monica is leading by a score of 7-0. Of course, most of their drive was consumed by the running of Mark Harper, who's their very, very fine running back.
No indication for the delay.
Something I see that the head referee in the middle of the field there is doing is he's covering the ball with a towel, which is very smart. It limits injuries and fumbles, and who knows, that's just what they need. Too bad they can't keep a towel on it through the whole game.
Evidently there's some malfunction of the clock.
And Odom drops back to pass. He's going to be sacked, and he loses yardage on the play.
Zach Odom was sacked back for a loss of 7 yards to the 26-yard line.
Zach Odom loses 7 yards on that play back to the 26-yard line. Will make it a 2nd down and 17.
Number 52.
Last time I looked up at the clock, guys, it was 2nd down. There were 4 minutes, 6 seconds left in the quarter. However, the clock seems to have completely malfunctioned. It's very difficult to tell how much time is remaining in the game at this point.
Another victim of the weather.
Down 16.
It's a 2nd and 16 for the Olympians. Henry Benz with the carry, and he picks up some of the yardage loss. Not quite back to the original line of scrimmage. Make it a 3rd down and about 13 for the Olympians.
Number 55, Willie Johnson. It'll be 3rd down and about 13 yards to go. The ball is on the Santa Monica 23-yard line.
So from the Santa Monica 23-yard line, it's 3rd down and 13 for the Olympians. They're struggling to keep their second drive alive, and they fake the inside handoff. Zach Odom keeps the ball. He's going around the left side. He's going to be stopped way short of the 1st down as he's brought down at about the 20-yard line, which will make it a 4th down and 10 for the Olympians. And we see Angel Andrade, number 15, going onto the field for the Olympians. We can only assume that this will be a field goal attempt for the Olympians.
And time will be kept on the field. We will endeavor to bring to you the correct time.
Public address announcer has indicated that there is a clock malfunction, and we will attempt to pass the time remaining in the game along to you as best we get it from the staff on the field.
Angel Andrade will appear to attempt a 37-yard field goal.
And there's his attempt. It's up, and it's no good. Angel Andrade, who has struggled quite often this season, fails in his field goal attempt.
Leuzinger Olympians unable to capitalize on that first turnover on the fumble of the punt, or the muff, I guess is the official term. Santa Monica takes the ball back now late in the first quarter. Time is being kept on the field.
Well, the Olympians needed to get away with some kind of points on that possession. They needed 3 or maybe possibly a quick 6 there. But you can see that Carnes had enough confidence in Andrade to try for the 3 points.
Well, I'm not sure it's full confidence. Rather than I may as well take my chance. We see a lot of flags on the field here. It was Santa Monica's 1st down play from the 19-yard line. It was 1st and 10 for them. We'll see how the officials sort this out. To come back to what you were saying, though, Alex, and, nothing against Angel Andrade, but let's face it, he's certainly not a kicker of the caliber of Eddie Korn, for instance, at Hawthorne. And there have been a couple of big occasions that Angel has let the rest of the team down with missed extra points, missed field goals. And those points are critical. You've got to have them in order to win.
That could have been a big confidence booster if he would have just split the uprights there from 35 yards out.
It's a 2nd down for Santa Monica now. I would say 2nd and about 6. And once again, the officials stop play.
Santa Monica now lining up in this formation with 2 men split out to the left-hand side. They may either be thinking of passing or just trying to stretch out the Leuzinger defense a little bit, give them a little more room up the middle if they want to run.
It's an excellent strategy. And, in fact, they do pass this time. It's out in the flat to number 24, and he's going to be brought down by Quan Banks. And number 35 for the Olympians
is Manny Gonzalez, the sophomore.
Excellent hit by Manny Gonzalez. Quan Banks was there first and slowed him up, and Manny Gonzalez got in and lowered the boom on him. Here we see it on the replay. You'll see Quan Banks hold him, and there's Manny Gonzalez hitting him from the back. Makes it a 2nd and very short for Santa Monica now. 2nd and less than a yard. They keep the ball on the ground, giving it to Mark Harper, and Harper appears to have picked up enough yardage for the 1st down.
Mark Harper
And of course, we know they're going to call his number very often in almost every short yardage situation. So the ball's now spotted out at about the 34-yard line. It's going to be a first down for Santa Monica as they lead in the first quarter by a score of 7-0. Once again, the quarterback brings them up to the line of scrimmage. They hand the ball off, as you might expect, to Mark Harper. This time he's dropped for a very short gain, maybe a yard on the play.
Number 63.
I've noticed a lot there that Quan Banks is getting a lot of action there, may get a lot of chances to get in on the tackles. A lot of the cornerbacks won't have to worry about the receivers, right? And they'll have to just contribute by making tackles.
Well, I think until Santa Monica shows them something different, as you can see how tight the defensive backs are playing up on the line. Of course, there are no wide receivers split out here. And again, they keep it on the ground. This is number 23. He's got an open field. They may not catch him. Oh, brought down at the 30-yard line by Richie Jacobs on what could have been a touchdown-saving tackle. Excellent pursuit from behind by Richie Jacobs.
You're absolutely right. Richie Jacobs probably saved a touchdown with that sprawling tackle, and Santa Monica running a little trap off the right-hand side, and he was off to the races. Big pickup, and the Santa Monica running game dominating right now the Olympian defense.
Obviously, you can tell that the Olympians were not expecting that. They left the whole far side open. They just left a big wide hole. It ran right through, and if it wouldn't have been for Richie Jacobs, like you said, they'd be leading up there 14-0.
And with that play, that ended the first quarter. As you can see, the referees bringing the ball back to the other end of the field. So after one quarter, score stands Santa Monica Vikings visiting 7 against the home Leuzinger Olympians 0. And of course, there were two big plays in that first quarter, Corey, one of which was Santa Monica going for it on 4th and long and picking it up. And secondly was Leuzinger's inability on first down from the Santa Monica 19-yard line, their inability to pick up any additional offensive yardage and to get a score. So it's a first down for Santa Monica. Ball was mishandled on the play, however, they do retain possession. It's fumbled once again, and Mark Harper has it, and he's driven out of bounds back at about the 40-yard line.
There's a flag on the play.
There are flags on the play, and I think they may call it down, being down originally, where he first went down at about the 35-yard line. But let's see how the officials sort it out. Go ahead, Corey.
Todd Cousineau there was the first running back who was stacked up. He saw Mark Harper behind him and said, hey, you're the workhorse, you take the ball. Probably not the best idea to pitch the ball in that situation. Only lost him a few more yards, but when you got a guy like Harper, you want to get him the ball as many times as you can, and that time they got him the ball maybe in the wrong situation.
Yards to go.
That lost a yard. Well, let me recap. The penalty first was an illegal procedure against Santa Monica, which the Olympians wisely declined because they had picked up more yardage on the sack on that play. Makes it a second down and 22 for Santa Monica now from about their own 40, from the Olympian 41-yard line. They keep the ball on the ground, and they're going to pick up about 6 yards on the carry.
On the counter slant.
Tim Camilo there
7.5, 8.
almost stopped Luneta. He got a part of him, got a piece of him, but he slipped out of the grabs. Luneta just did a high step and got by Camilo. However, Camilo was, as you can see on your screen there, got his right arm up to hit his thigh and just caused him to lose his balance to fall down.
Dominating running game like this does two things. It beats up the defense, which helps your offense, and it eats up a lot of time. If you can run the ball, you're going to chew up a lot of time, and time of possession is also an important statistic.
And that's what they're doing, definitely. And he's going to be sacked. And he is sacked back at midfield. That's number 77 for the Olympians. That was Andre English with the sack. Excellent defensive play. Brings up a 4th and very long. And I don't think you'll see Santa Monica go for it on a 4th and 35 or something like that. We know it's 4th and well, actually, it's about 4th and 30. Because they're at midfield and the first down marker is inside the 20-yard line.
I was about to say, it looks like every time Santa Monica tries anything but a run up a middle, they lose yardage. They should stay with the running game.
So we're about to see Richie Jacobs go in action. Doesn't look like Rich is going to get a chance to handle this. Well, he makes an attempt to. He fumbles it out of bounds, so the Olympians retain possession at about the 20-yard line. They're going to spot it about the 21-yard line. The Olympians will go on offense from their own 21 in the second quarter, trailing by a score of 7-0.
That was a very high-risk play there by Richie Jacobs. He should have just let it bounce right out of bounds. I don't see why he took a chance like that.
Well, of course, the young man is trying to break something big, I'm sure. But you're right, Alex. In that particular instance, if he had mishandled that anymore, he may have done more harm than good. So it's a first down for the Olympians. And out of the first down, they go to the air. And it's going to be completed for short yardage on the play. Short but good yardage, about 5 yards.
Good point, Rufus. When teams are having trouble offensively, then they start to get a little frustrated. They start to press. As you see, Richie Jacobs had come up on that punt trying to go for the big play, but you've also got to think completely differently on a night like tonight when it's rainy and wet. You got to be careful with the ball.
You notice on that play the way Richie Jacobs made the reception. He used his arms instead of his fingertips.
And they keep the ball on the ground once again. This is number 24, Tim Camillo. And Tim Camillo picks up the first down with an excellent carry. Moves the ball out near the 40-yard line. They spot it at approximately the 37-yard line. That's a first down for the Olympians. So they're starting to get some offensive movement here.
Starting to get it from everybody now. They're opening up the running game.
And this time out of the I formation, they fake to the first man through. Zach Odom keeps it himself. He's still on his feet. He pitches back to... Couldn't see who he pitched it back to. That was Damon Whitmore that he pitched it back to, and Whitmore picks up excellent yardage on what was a beautiful but dangerous play.
Great play by Zach Odom. The first to fake up the middle, he drives the defense off and runs it, and then the pitch to Whitmore. Here you see it again. Great fake by Odom on the defense, and then at the last second throws it to Whitmore. Picks up an extra 10 or 12 yards on the run.
They spot the ball inside the Viking 40-yard line at about the 39. It's a 1st and 10 for the Olympians. This time they keep it on the ground, and it's going to be stopped after a short pickup. That was Damon Whitmore picking up maybe 2 yards on the carry.
And to touch upon what Mike said earlier, that it wasn't just a great play, it was a smart play. You know, from a junior with not that much experience to pull off a trick like that and not make it fall into a Viking's arms, you know, that was a smart play for a quarterback.
So it's a second down and about 8 yards for the Olympians from approximately the 36-yard line. And they keep the ball on the ground. That's number 24, Tim Camillo. And he picks up maybe 3 yards on it, making a 3rd and 5 for the Olympians.
Number 78.
Leuzinger not having quite as much luck up the middle as Santa Monica is on their offensive line, but Leuzinger is a little bit smaller than Santa Monica. Outside run's probably the best idea now for the Olympians.
So on a big 3rd down play, the Olympians looking to keep their drive alive. Bring him up to the line. Zach Odom brings him up to the line. Odom is dropping back the pass. He's got some running room. However, he elects to go to the air, which is a good decision, and it's going to be incomplete. Pass intended for Jeff Loudon at about the 20-yard line. That's going to bring up a 4th down for the Olympians. They're at about the 36-yard line. It's a 4th and about 5. We'll have to see what Coach Carnes elects to do here.
Well, the Olympians are going to have to just keep pounding out those big plays because they're going to need big plays like that. They can't keep hoping that something will open up in the middle or that they take a chance that something opens up around the corners on the sides. They're going to need a big play after play.
So it's a 4th down and 6, and the Olympians are going for it on the 4th and 6. They drop back the pass, and it's completed to Tyrone Scott. Tyrone Scott being a senior, of course, he's been in this situation many times over the last 3 years, and a lot of times in a big game like this, that's where you want to go, to people who've got experience in crucial situations. And Tyrone comes through with a big catch that converts the 4th down into a 1st down for the Olympians and keeps the drive alive.
Nice quick slant over the middle by Tyrone Scott. That's a tough receiver's play. You know you're going to get hit when you go into the middle like that, but Tyrone Scott ran it well.
So on the first down play, Odom brings him up to the line of scrimmage, hands off to Tim Camillo. Tim Camillo goes around right side, picks up about 4 or 5 yards on the carry. We'll make it a second down for the Olympians. And they're now inside the 20-yard line once again.
Well, like you said, like you mentioned about Tyrone Scott, that's the guy you want to have there. Maturity. Maturity plays a big key spot in when the game's on the line like this, games that really mean something. You go to your guys, you're returning all leaguers.
So on the second down play, once again they keep the ball on the ground. It was number 12, Damon Whitmore with the carry, and he loses his footing, but he does pick up excellent yardage to be short of the first down.
Very close to the first down on the play for the Vikings.
I think it's going to be maybe a yard short of the first down. It'll bring up a third down for the Olympians. Well, it's close enough that the officials are going to call for a measurement here.
Another big situation for the Leuzinger offense, as in the Hawthorne game, having trouble punching it in once they get down deep into their defenders' territory. And you got to come away with points because you aren't going to get chances like this all the time against a good Santa Monica defense.
It'll be third down and less than a half yard to go.
It's going to be third and less than a half yard on the measurement for the Olympians. So they've got a couple of ways they can play this. I think obviously, unless they lose yardage, they'll go for it on fourth if they aren't successful here. By recurrence, I may think about passing on this one, looking into the end zone.
That depends on how much confidence he has in his running game. If he's got that confidence that he can get the yard, that's an excellent, you try a fake up the middle and then throw it into the end zone. We'll see how daring Steve Carnes is here late in the second quarter.
Most of the time on crucial inches, plays like this, they go to Odom with the quarterback keeper right up the middle, but I don't think they want to put him through that much punishment.
It's a third and short, and you called it, Alex. That's what they do. They give it to Zach, and Zach carries the ball for more than enough for the first down. Pushes the ball down inside the 10-yard line. Looks like it should bring up a first and goal for the Olympians.
It's a big game for the Olympians, not only because you want to win the Bay League title, but you want what comes with the Bay League title, and that means probably staying at home in the first couple of rounds of the CIF playoffs. There you see the replay. Zach Odom, great leg drive. Having to drive 4 hours up to Arroyo Grande probably took a lot out of the Olympians last year in the CIF third round.
And so with the first and goal, Olympians come out once again. Zach Odom calls his own number. He turns it upfield, and he's going to pick up some yardage on the play, but he'll still be short of the goal line.
Well, that Zach Odom sure looks like a fish out of water, the way he's squirming away from the would-be tackles there. He just keeps the legs moving and uses that track speed that he uses on the track and field team, squirms away for extra 2 or 3 yards.
They call the ball at the 6-yard line, approximately 6-yard line, second and goal for the Olympians, as they're seeking to tie up this game, in which Santa Monica is leading by a score of 7-0. And they keep the ball on the ground once again. That's Tim Camillo with the carry, and he's going to be short. So it's going to bring up a third and goal for the Olympians.
And number 4, Jerry Black. It'll be third down. The ball very close, about 1 yard to go for the touchdown.
Again, I talked about it last week, averaging over almost 6 yards a carry. I think Damon Whitmore is vastly underused by this Leuzinger Olympiad team. I'd run him or get him the ball at least 15 to 20 times a game, and he doesn't seem to be getting it, especially in the last 2 games.
Olympians are at the 1-yard line, and it's Timmy Camillo, who pushes it over. So the Olympians get on the board in the second quarter, and now comes the all-important extra point attempt. Angel Andrade, you're on the spot again.
Well, that play was made possible there by Darren McMillan. Darren McMillan just opened up the hole right there, and there you see Tim Camillo just bulldozes away, just crossing the plane of the goal line. That's all it takes. 6 quick points for the Olympians.
Rufus is right. Extra points, big decider in the game last week. We'll see how Angel does on this one.
The snap is high, but they get it down. It's up, and it's good. It's good. And the crowd gives Angel a rousing cheer.
From our point of view up here, the angle we had, it didn't look like it went over by much. It might be just caught the side of the goalpost.
I thought it wasn't good from our angle. Obviously, we had a bad angle, but it was very close.
Well, there are a lot of referees here, but only 4 getting paid, and they called it good, so we'll have to go with their decision. Of course, if you're a Leuzinger fan, you're happy they called it good, because that makes it even now as they prepare to kick off.
14 plays. A 1-yard plunge and left guard by senior fullback Tim.
So now that the Olympians have drawn even, their crowd gets back into this game a little more. Let us remind you, of course, that this game is for the Bay League Championship, basically. If Leuzinger wins, they win the championship. So there's a lot at stake here. And there's the kickoff taken by number 11. He goes around the left side, cuts it back in, and he's brought down at about the 21-yard line.
Not only has the Olympian fan section come to life, the Olympian bench seems to have come to life again. A lot of helmets in the air on that kickoff, and just a lot more movement on the sidelines. I think everybody's a little more pumped up now. A little bit of a drought offensively for the Olympians, and it's good to have a nice long drive and punch it in for the touchdown.
Oh, it sure did there, and what their main ingredients that brings this team alive is emotion. Coach Carnes has told me many a time they play their game 95% emotion.
And on the first down plays, you might expect they keep it on the ground. And that's Harper taking it out near a first down. Picks up, 8 or 9 yards on the carry.
Second down and 1, the ball is brought out.
The Olympian defensive task, we can't say it too many times, against Santa Monica, plain and simple, is to be able to stop the run. And if they're unable to do that, they're going to be in for a long night tonight, as Hawthorne found out about a month ago when they lost to this team by a score of 45-22. Once again, they keep it on the ground, and they pick up the first down yardage, it would appear.
Number 6, Damian Lynette is stopped by number 63, Mike.
No, they don't. He's about a yard short of, half a yard short of the first down. So they'll make it a third down play for Santa Monica now. It's third and short for Santa Monica from about the 34-yard line.
Well, to bring back a point there, what you said, talking about the Hawthorne game, that Mark Harper, he did damage that Hawthorne coach Goy Casillas will never forget. Against Hawthorne, he ran for 227 yards. He carried the ball 38 times and scored 5 touchdowns. That's a lot for one senior.
Yes, it is. And there's going to be a flag on the play. Looks like it's going to be against the Vikings. That'll back them up 5 yards. So what was a third and short now becomes a 3rd and 6 as we look at the Leuzinger defense. On the defensive line, you got Jesse Perrier and Andre English, linebackers Jonas Hurricane Woodring, Marvin Johnson, Henry Benz, Manny Gonzalez, and Timmy Camillo. The defensive backfield consists of Quan Banks, Richie Jacobs, Tyrone Scott, and Danny Al.
Tonight it looks like they're all playing nose guard the way Steve Carnes has got them packed around the line.
Exactly. They aren't playing Santa Monica for the pass at all. And on that third down play, they stop Harper for little or no gain, so to bring up a 4th down for Santa Monica. And I think they will probably kick away here since they're deep in their own territory.
That was an excellent, excuse me, Rufus, I got to give credit to that young sophomore again. That was Marvin Johnson laying the tackle there. He's usually used as a utility running back. Now he gets in there, buries his helmet on the ball carrier, and drops him there for a short yardage.
And of course, the dangerous return man, Richie Jacobs, is back once again. And I'm sure Richie would love an opportunity to strut his stuff here. And here's the kick. And it's blocked. It's blocked. It's going to be blocked. And it's recovered in the end zone by the Olympians for a touchdown on the blocked punt. We couldn't quite see who that was who got in there. I'm sure we'll see it on the replay, but that was number 30, Manny Gonzalez, who recovered for the touchdown.
Marvin Johnson, number 30. That's
Marvin Johnson, who recovered the blocked punt for a touchdown in the Santa Monica end zone. So the Olympians now go ahead by a score of 13-7 with the extra point attempt coming up.
There you see the replay coming right up the middle. The Leuzinger defense blocks the punt. Marvin Johnson squirts into the end zone, jumps on it, and it's Leuzinger now up.
There's Angel Andrade's attempt, and it's good. It's good. good. So the Olympians put 14 points on the board very quickly, and they go ahead by a score of 14-7.
A lot of teams forget that a full third of a football game is special teams, and they haven't been blocking very well on the punts so far, Santa Monica. As you see there, Leuzinger takes advantage of it, gets 7 points, and Old Lady Mo just put on a L helmet.
And that L helmet there was led by, I saw Henry Benz there on the block. And then again, the guy that was always there, Danny Allen, number 20, and the big guy that made all the difference, number 30, Marvin Johnson. He was in the right place, the right time, followed the ball right into the end zone, came up with 6 points.
So the Olympians kick off again. And here's Angel Andrade's kick. It's going to be somewhat short, taken at about the 15-yard line. They bring it back inside. He's brought down there. Little or no yardage gained on the return. The Olympian defense is inspired now.
And inspired by number 30. He got a hold of that ball carrier. Once again, number 30. He's all over the place. Marvin Johnson.
Ball is on the semi-high 20-yard.
So now we'll see what the Samuel High offense can do as they attempt to respond to 2 quick Olympian scores. And there's a fumble on the play, and it looks like it's recovered by the Olympians. So we've had 2 quick turnovers by Santa Monica, and that's Marvin Johnson with the recovery. Marvin Johnson is having one heck of a game on defense tonight. This young man has come to play, and I'm not sure where the Olympian defensive effort would be without Marvin Johnson tonight.
Single-handedly taking over the football game the last 3 plays. Marvin Johnson, inspired play, and now Leuzinger in scoring position again.
Mark Harper was there. He fumbled the ball, and once again, number 30 all over the ball.
Olympians are just outside the 20-yard line. They keep the ball on the ground. That's Zach Odom running what would be the option. He keeps it himself, and he's driven out of bounds after a short gain on the play.
Good play by the Santa Monica defense, stringing out the run, keeping Zach Odom from getting any yardage on that play.
It'll be 2nd down 10.
So it's going to make it a 2nd down and 10 for the Olympians. The ball is at about the 23-yard line, actually. Excellent field position for them as they pick up the Santa Monica turnover. Olympians come to the line in a I formation. Zach Odom fakes the handoff inside. He's scrambling now. He's looking to pass, and he does pass, and he throws it too high. Pass is incomplete. Intended for Jeff Loudon, his tight end.
Several people up in the stands saw the same thing I did. Jeff Loudon was wide open in the right flat. Zach Odom was a little late in seeing him. By the time he saw him, a Santa Monica defender was there, and he had to throw the ball high and out of bounds.
Coming in is Tyrone Scott, and Quan Banks. Coming out is Zach Odom and one other player. And of course, when Quan Banks comes into the game, he's always a threat at wide receiver. The guy has good speed. He's a good tall receiver, an excellent target. We'll see what they do here. He drops back to pass. He's looking across the middle, and it falls incomplete. There's a flag on the play. Looks like there's going to be pass interference against Santa Monica.
Excellent play there by Richie Jacobs. I wonder if that guy knows how to play some baseball. He makes some great diving catches.
Excellent effort by Richie. And as we see the referees huddle here, we'll get the official call. The official call is against Santa Monica. Defensive holding. That should be enough for the 1st down. That's an automatic 10-yard penalty.
Doesn't look like Steve Carnes could be any happier.
That play moves the ball down to the... Well, it's going to be 3rd and short. I thought it carried an automatic 1st down. They spotted on the 13-yard line. It's about 3rd and a yard for the 1st down for the Olympians.
I think if Leuzinger doesn't do it, I think you got to give it back to Angel Andrade to give him another chance.
We'll see here on the big 3rd down play. They keep the ball on the ground. They fake it. It's an end around. And what looked like he was going to be trapped, and he finally is trapped in the backfield for a loss. That was number 21, Richard Jacobs.
For about a 7-yard loss.
We see Angel Andrade coming on for the field goal attempt.
Sorry, Rufus, little bit of razzle-dazzle there, double reverse, and on a field like this, as you see there,
Field goal, number 15.
double reverse, deep in the backfield. Santa Monica can't make the tackle, but not much of a gain. On a field like this, a double reverse is a very dangerous play, but Steve Carnes wants this Bay League title. He's pulling out all the stops.
We may even see a fake field goal attempt here. No, we don't. There's Angel Andrade's attempt. It's up, and they signal no good.
Attempted by Andrade is unsuccessful, wide to the right.
And he gets a consolation pat on the head from one of his teammates. But once again, Angel Andrade comes up short on the field goal attempt. So the score remains 14-7 in favor of the home Leuzinger Olympians as we're in the second quarter with time running down. It's very difficult to give the official time. As we noted earlier, the clock is out on the field. We're passing it along as best we get it from the public address announcer, folks.
Now, Leuzinger didn't score on that turnover opportunity, but they did kill a lot of time now, very late in the second half, so they accomplished one purpose at least.
And there's the pitch back to Mark Harper, and Harper goes around the left side and picks up excellent yardage.
Brings the ball around left end to pick up very nearly 10 yards. On the stop for the
Of course, this is where the ground attack of Santa Monica does hurt them a bit because the ground game does consume a lot of time, and it's very difficult to score quickly out of a ground attack.
You did the game single-handedly, I must say. The last game as we watched the replay here, pitch on the left side. You did the game alone last week.
And that's the end of the first half. So after one half, Leuzinger leads by a score of 14-7 over the visiting Santa Monica Vikings in the Bay League championship game.
What I was trying to say is Rufus did the game alone when Santa Monica played Hawthorne, and that was a pretty big Santa Monica win. They dominated the Cougars. See anything different from that game that you remember to this?
To Leuzinger's attempt to win this Bay League championship.
Well, I think Leuzinger got off a little slow. Santa Monica running the ball very well in the first quarter, dominating the game. And then those all-important turnovers and momentum went over to the Olympians. As you see there, leading 14-7. Leuzinger now has their confidence. They drove a couple of times and didn't come away with points one time, but they did drive the ball. They now see, I think, that Santa Monica can be scored upon. And they slowed down the Santa Monica offense a little bit better in the second quarter than they did in the first quarter. So I think we're going to see a good half, and I think Steve Carnes, while not totally elated with his first half play, is obviously very happy to be up 14-7 at this point. Again, it's going to come down to can the Olympians stop the Santa Monica offense and get their offense on the field.
Alex, your thoughts on that first half?
It was a wild first half. Like Corey said, the Olympians did have a little bit of slow periods there towards the beginning, but once they got those turnovers, Marvin Johnson, Danny Al came up with the ball. That's what turned the things around. They got that emotional boost that they so dearly need every week, and that's what sparked them up here in the first half.
And Leuzinger will be kicking off to start the second half. And here's Angel Andrade's kick. And it's an excellent kick by Angel back inside the 10-yard line. They bring it up around the right side and get it out to approximately the 26-yard line. So from the 26, the Santa Monica Vikings will go on offense for the first time in the second half, trailing by a score of 14-7. Let's set the tables here while we've got a moment. The rain has stopped. It's excellent. The clock has started working again, so we've got that going in our favor. Makes it a little easier for us up here to call the game for you and make it a little more interesting. So we're starting to see the elements of a normal game for the first time tonight, and that's good. Santa Monica pitches back on their first carry to Mark Harper, the workhorse. Harper comes around this side of the field, picks up, about 5 or 6 yards on the carry.
Hard to pinpoint just one offensive series in the whole second half that's going to mean a lot. Obviously, a lot of things are going to happen in the next 24 minutes, but this is a big offensive series. If Leuzinger can stop Santa Monica, that will set the tone, I believe, for the second half. If Santa Monica continues to run well, then it may be a different ball game.
And makes it a second down play for Santa Monica. Once again, they keep it on the ground, and the Olympians, gang tackling, are able to stop Mark Harper for little or no gain. Makes it a third down and about 4 on the carry. That was Jonas Hurricane Woodring on the initial hit.
Well, Woodring hit him hard, but that was just their workhorse, only in half a ball game. Harper has racked up 79 yards on 14 carries. He averages 22 carries a game, so he's only halfway through.
And once again, they keep it on the ground. This time it's number 23, and he's got some room to run. He's going around right in. Quan Banks may have a shot at him, and he does. They bring him down at about the 25-yard line. That was a big run. Let's find out who that guy was. We've seen this number a couple of times. That was 23, David Hammond.
Was the exact same play they ran in the first half, got the exact same yardage or about the same, and was tackled by the exact same man who got him last time, Richie Camille. Or Timmy Camille, excuse me. Here you see, running him down from behind, Richie Jacobs.
And Quan Banks. Richie Jacobs and Quan Banks on what was a touchdown-saving tackle there. And one of the things that happens, and the Olympians got burned again, is he started to key on Mark Harper, who you expect to carry the ball the bulk of the time for Santa Monica, and they run Hammonds, and he picks up excellent yardage on the carry.
Exactly right. The defense over pursues to the left side, then they run Hammond back right, and he's gotten big yardage twice now.
So it's a first down play. This time they do pitch it to Mark Harper. He's got a hole. Oh, once again, Timmy Camille with a touchdown-saving tackle once again. And they're inside the 10. Exactly what you said earlier, Corey. Santa Monica will want to get off early in the second half. And, man, they have exploded out of the blocks just like that.
Still very big holes up the middle. Santa Monica has figured out the Leuzinger defense and is running at will up the middle.
So it's first and goal from the 8-yard line. And there you see the Olympians gang tackling Harper at about the line of scrimmage. And I think that I was going to mention earlier, that's one of the defensive strategies I seem to notice the Olympians trying. They try to get at least one man there to make the initial hit. As soon as that initial hit is made, there's a host of Olympians around him to make sure he doesn't get away. So it's a second down and goal now from the 8-yard line for Santa Monica. We're in the third quarter. They're trailing by a score of 14-7. They go over right tackle, and he's only going to pick up about 1 or 2 yards on that carry. That was Damian Lunetta with the carry for Santa Monica. Going to make it a third and goal for Santa Monica. This is their opening drive of the second half. They're trying to draw even as they trail by a score of 14-7 against the home Leuzinger Olympians, who are playing for the Bay League Championship. On the third and goal play, once again to keep it on the ground, it's Mark Harper. And Harper goes in unmolested for the touchdown. He draws Santa Monica to within 1 point. And here they're going for 2 points. They don't huddle, they're going for 2. They want the lead in this game. Let's see if the Leuzinger defense can hold him. And this is a major challenge to the Olympians. And it's a naked bootleg. And what do? It's going to be close. And the conversion is good.
Coming in the end zone, the two-point conversion is good.
Looked like a fumble into the end zone from the quarterback who took it on the left-hand side. He fumbled into the end zone.
Leuzinger 14.
Recovered there by number 9, Todd Kusanow. And Santa Monica goes up 15-14 on the two-point conversion. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, and I think Santa Monica got very lucky there, but they get the 2 points on the board. Here you see the replay.
Well, I'd have to question if it was actually a fumble. If it was actually a fumble or if it was purposely tossed in there. It could have been a design play. You never know.
Of course, if it was tossed in, that'd be a forward lateral, which would be illegal. We don't have a replay of that particular play, but one of the things that we did see in live action was that it appeared the defense had strung out the play very well, and I thought they were going to stop them. But somehow or another, quarterback was able to punch the ball across for the 2 points. And we've seen 1 point be a big, big difference in these games over the last couple of weeks. And now Santa Monica's leading by a score of 15-14 on the 2-point conversion.
Memories of Dave Casper, the Oakland Raiders, fumbling the ball into the end zone.
And on the kickoff, it's going to be picked up, it looks like, by Richard Jacobs. He's got some running room, but they string him out and bring him down at about the 15-yard line.
It was dropped on around the 15-yard line.
So the Olympians will go on offense for the first time in the second half, trailing now by a score of 15-14. And I'm sure they'll be as anxious as Santa Monica was to establish their offense early, to move effectively, and to try to match that score. So on a 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line, Zach Odom brings him up to the line of scrimmage. He drops back to pass, and a crowd, not a well thought out pass at all, knocked down the line of scrimmage, make it a 2nd down and 10 for the Olympians from the 15-yard line.
We had a priest in the stadium. You could say mass over here. It's awfully quiet on the Leuzinger side, and like I said, a big drive by Santa Monica in the first half takes the crowd out of the game. See now how the Olympians respond.
That was Harper's 2nd touchdown of the ball game. He averages 3 touchdowns a game, so he's due for 1 more.
On the 2nd down play, the Olympians this time keep the ball on the ground, and Zach Odom keeps it. He's going to be sacked for a loss on the play. A loss of about 5 yards, going to bring up a 3rd down. Looks like Odom is a little slow getting up.
It'll be 3rd down and about 13 for the Olympians.
And he is. Odom gets up limping, and this could be critical for the Olympians. He still doesn't seem to have his wits about himself. But he does stay in the game, and he signals for a timeout.
Well, if Odom does go down, number 10, their backup quarterback, Bert Best, is their number 2 quarterback. He holds the ball on all the punts. So you might see him come into play if he does get hurt. Odom is a very young quarterback, but if he does get hurt, the Olympians have a backup quarterback just as well.
Santa Monica starting off the second half exactly like they did the first half. Big offensive series, big holes, big yardage, running the football. Leuzinger challenge now is to slow Santa Monica down.
And on that particular series, as you noted, Corey, Santa Monica was able to run the ball at will. And when they do that, we know all too well that they score, and they score often. But it did look like, as you mentioned, as the first half wound down, the Olympian defense did solve the riddle and were able to pretty much contain them. Of course, that's going to be their task again here in the second half, in addition to it being their task to get back in front, because right now they trail it by a score of 15-14 as we're in the 3rd quarter of this contest.
Seems like Santa Monica has taken a note out of the Leuzinger defense playbook. They're bringing a lot of men up on the line, challenging Leuzinger to pass the football at this point.
And it's a 3rd and about 14 for the Olympians. And on the 3rd and 14, they keep the ball on the ground, and it's smelled out completely. And there's some folks in the crowd expressing their displeasure with the play calling by the Olympians there. So the Olympians are going to have to punt, and Santa Monica in all likelihood is going to get the ball in excellent field position, which is something you don't want to give them to start with.
Number 82, Jeff Loudon, back to receive for the Vikings.
And Loudon will be punting out of his own end zone here. So it's important that they at least get the punt off. And he does. The kick comes out to about the 45-yard line. And woo! There was some fierce hitting on that play. Yeah. The ball was taken at approximately the 45-yard line and returned to inside the 30.
Here you see the replay. Good camera work by our Channel 60 crew. Executive producer Mike Galarza, Brian Baxter and Tom Strickfaden in the truck doing a great job tonight.
And in fact, there could have been a late hit called on that particular play because the carrier was clearly hit out of bounds. Nonetheless, it's a 1st down, Santa Monica. They're going to the air, and it's caught. It's caught. One of the few times we've seen Santa Monica go to the air. Pass was completed to Damian Lunetta, not Lunetta, number 15. It was completed to. That's Mike North. So it's first and goal for Santa Monica from the 5-yard line. They're already leading by a score of 15-14 as they seek to increase their lead. We have been corrected. The receiver on that play was Damon Lunetta. However, it is a first down. And on the first down carry, it's a touchdown. That was Mark Harper. Alex, you called it earlier. You said he averages 3 a game. He had 2 prior to that play. That's his 3rd. So now Santa Monica goes up by a score of 21-14 with a chance to add to that lead.
When a team dominates on the ground like Santa Monica has, they can go for that pass every once in a while. Leuzinger bringing so many men up trying to stop Mark Harper and the Santa Monica offense. They forget about the receivers. The receiver slips down as Damian Lunetta did, and he got big yardage on the one pass.
And here's the extra point attempt. It's up, and it's good. So Santa Monica now leads by a score of 22-14 with 7 minutes, 3 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Leuzinger will be going on offense when we come back to live action, and they have got to do just that, go on offense here.
Very big series for the Leuzinger offense now. They've got to get some points on the board. They've just got to stop the Santa Monica momentum, and Santa Monica's got all the momentum now with 2 quick scores in a row. Leuzinger offense on that last series was left something to be desired, to say the least.
If I'm not mistaken, that little pass to Lunetta there was the one that failed in their first possession. The one where he slipped and the ball just came up short. That time it was completed.
He was open on the exact same route, Alex, you're right. The exact same place, and he slipped on that time, and he couldn't come back. This time he came back and caught the ball. Good point, Alex.
As we prepare for the Santa Monica kickoff, there it is. And it's over the middle. Looks like it's going to be taken by Damon Whitmore. Whitmore comes back to this side of the field, and he goes down in a crowd, partially tripped by one of his own players. He also was in the slippery part of the field that has absolutely no grass on it. It's just all mud there. And that was where he went down because he had what appeared to be the makings of an excellent return.
That's the 3rd time I've seen Damon Whitmore fall down. He's been coming up ineffective at times. They got to give Camilo more the ball, and they got to be expecting Whitmore to break a few tackles and get some yardage.
So from the 20-yard line, the Olympians go on offense here for the 2nd time in the 2nd half. Now they're trailing by a score of 22-14. There's the pitch back to number 12, Damon Whitmore, and he picks up maybe 2 yards on the carry.
Right hand pickup of about 4 yards.
Santa Monica defense doing an excellent job the last 2 series of stringing out that run around the end. Here you see it, a host of Santa Monica defenders coming over. Swarming defense. If one guy doesn't make the tackle, he at least slows the play down until a couple more guys can come up and actually make the stop.
Makes it a 2nd down and 8 for the Olympians. There's 6 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. They're trailing by a score of 22-14. They're in an I formation. Odom drops back to pass. He's still got the ball. He's being pursued heavily, and he's going to be brought down for a loss. Zach was pretty nimble-footed on the play. However, it went against him, and he lost about 3 yards on the carry.
Double teaming defense on Quan Banks on the left-hand side. Zach Odom looking that way all the way. I see Alex shaking his head. He saw it too. They had 2 men on Quan Banks. It's about the time in the game when you wait for Quan Banks to make a big catch, and the Santa Monica coaches knew that too.
So it makes it a 3rd down, about 13 for the Olympians here. Odom drops back to pass. He's going to need to let it go soon, and he does over the middle, and it's completed. Oh, and dropped. Completed and dropped. Looks like it would have come up short anyway. However, it's a punting situation now for Leuzinger. Last time they punted from this deep in their territory, Santa Monica got the ball in excellent field position and was able to carry it in. The Olympians are going to have to be able to move the ball out from their own end zone. They're just putting extra pressure on their defense. Once again, we see the Santa Monica return team line up at about the midfield stripe. Here's Jeff Loudon's punt. An excellent high kick by Jeff Loudon. Gives him time to get under it. And takes an Olympian bounce, and they finally down it at about the 46-yard line. So that's a help for the defense at least. If they've got some room, they maybe can give up a first down and still hold them. But right now, their work is cut out for them. And as you mentioned, that big offensive line of Santa Monica coming into play, averaging, what, 225, 235 pounds across. And the Olympian defenders simply, thus far in the second half, have not been up to the task of stopping them. Let's see what they do here on the 1st and 10. They run the same play with number 23. This time they smell it out a little bit better. They bring him down at the midfield stripe. He picks up about 4 yards on the carry. Makes it a 2nd down and 6 for them.
Good running teams, good offenses with big linemen, and good running games get stronger in the second half as opposed to the first half. We'll watch and see if that's true tonight. But for the most part, a good running game will get better as the game goes on.
And that's David Hammond, who's given the Olympians a great deal of trouble thus far in the second half. Once again, we see a straight handoff up the middle. The Olympians defense it fairly well. They pick up about 3 yards on the carry. It's going to make it a 3rd and about 2. That looks more like it's going to be a 3rd and 4 on the play.
Number 30, Marvin Johnson.
Santa Monica is in Olympian territory once again. However, the Olympian defense has an excellent opportunity here to play good, hard-nosed football and maybe create a 4th down situation where they can get the ball back. Here's the pitch to Mark Harper. They smell it out. It's going to be awfully close, though. Harper is close to a 1st down.
Mark Harper turns left end, appears to have the necessary yardage. On the
I don't see a signal yet.
Here you see the replay. Nothing fancy about that. A pitch to Mark Harper. Very close to the 1st down, and the referee's going to call a timeout and measure it. But there's only 3:28 left here in the 3rd quarter, and as I said in the 1st quarter, Rufus, running game is great for killing the clock. And when you've got a lead, you want to establish that running game because in Santa Monica's case, they're doing 2 things. They're getting yardage, and they're burning time, and with a lead, that's exactly what you want to do. And oh, just short of a 1st down. Inches away. Big defensive play for Leuzinger because you know Santa Monica's going to go for it.
Big defensive play, as you say, Corey. 4th and inches. There's no doubt that they're going for it. All we can do is see how the Olympian defense responds to the challenge. The Leuzinger defense, I should say, responds to the challenge.
Don't say hi to that man.
Too much time. One good thing about having a running game like Santa Monica does, you see the quarterback there, his uniform's pretty clean. He doesn't even have to get it sent out because he hands off the ball.
And on the 4th and inches, they pick up the 1st down. Mark Harper with the carry, and he's hit by a host of Leuzinger defenders. We've got an injured Olympian down on the field that looks like number 20, Danny Al. And Danny, of course, is a key defender for the Olympians. He's pointing to his knee. The young man appears to be in considerable pain on the field. We've got to break in the action, and we'll pass along whatever information we get as soon as we get it. But right now, while we've got to break in the action, it is a 1st down for Santa Monica. The ball is at, from my vantage point here, it looks like it's outside the 30-yard line, out at about the 32-yard line. Santa Monica, 1st and 10. We're in the 3rd quarter, 3 minutes, 18 seconds left. Santa Monica's leading by a score of 22-14 in this Bay League championship game that the Leuzinger Olympians so desperately would like to have.
I'd like to remind everybody, Channel 60 Sports will be following the Leuzinger Olympians and the Hawthorne Cougars into the CIF playoffs starting next week. Pairings coming out about Tuesday. One of the strange forces in nature is how they make the CIF pairings and where they decide to have teams play. If Leuzinger can come back and win this football game, a good chance that they will start at least the 1st round against a lower-seeded opponent. They will probably play here. But as we say, CIF pairings are pulled out of a hat by some people in Fresno.
Literally pulled out of a hat. And also, while we've got this moment, we see some crowd control being exercised here. One of the things I would like to say for all the young Olympian fans who are watching, the type of behavior that's being displayed has no place at a high school game. You know, everybody should come, enjoy themselves, have a good time. But the kind of behavior that we've seen exhibited tonight is totally unnecessary, and we would hope that come playoff time, you'll be able to demonstrate the kind of behavior that makes you proud of your school and your school proud of you. One of the things I might also add, that behavior can cause a forfeit in CIF playoff games, so you could hurt your team also by acting stupid and ignorant during these games. We're back to live action to keep it on the ground, handing off to Mark Harper, and the defense smells it out, and they stop him after a short game. Corey?
Danny Howe, unfortunately, carried off the field. Looks to be in a lot of pain on the sideline. Looks to be something wrong with one of his legs, and we hope the pocket rocket is okay because he's going to be very important for the CIF playoffs. But looks like it may be a serious injury from my vantage point. He's laying down now on the benches and having his leg looked at on the sideline.
Once again, Santa Monica drops back to pass, and they're going over the middle. It's complete once again. Same play by Santa Monica to number 6, and once again, what we're seeing tonight is the air attack of Santa Monica. They've thrown all of about 4 or 5 passes. 3 of them have been completed for big yardage. We see it here on the replay.
Damian Lunetta for his 3rd time tonight going up, running the exact same route up the middle of the Leuzinger defense. Now caught 2 passes for good yardage, and Santa Monica looking to score again. And they'll take a timeout now to see what they want to run down here, because this, if they can score here, might just break the Leuzinger back as far as coming back in this football game. An important scoring opportunity here for Santa Monica to be up by 2 touchdowns late in the 3rd quarter.
And it's so simple. It's not like a quick out pattern or Lunetta is breaking through the defensive line there. He's just getting all open. It's not like the passes are right on target. As you see, Lunetta has to come back, reach back, and waste a few steps, but he does make the completion for the easy yards.
Well, Rufus made the point that they're using Harper, putting Harper out, faking the pitch to Harper, and then running, so the defense is over pursuing, keying on Harper. And the passes are open up the middle, wide open, because, yeah, none of the 3 passes has been well thrown, but 2 of the 3 have been completed for big yardage because the Leuzinger defense is looking for the run and not the pass.
And, of course, at every level of football, the running game sets up the passing game, and that's all that we've seen go into effect tonight. Leuzinger is forced to play the passing game, to play the running game, honestly. And when they do, and there's Harper being brought down after a short carry.
And left tackle, pick up about 3 yards.
Picks up 3 yards. He's inside the 10-yard line. It takes him down to about the 7. Makes a 2nd and goal for Santa Monica from the 7-yard line. The Leuzinger Olympians are trailing with 2 minutes left in the 3rd quarter by a score of 22-14. Not wanting to go down any further in this contest. They desperately, as Corey pointed out earlier, need to hold here in order to have a chance. Once again, to keep it on the ground, here's the pitch, and that's going to be a fumble. Was it touched by an Olympian? It was, and it's an Olympian ball. It was an Olympian ball. That was Quan Banks. Quan Banks, and that's all that's necessary on a pitchback like that, Corey. Unlike a fumble, the Leuzinger player was the last person to touch it before he went out of bounds. He didn't have to have possession, just the last person to touch it. That gives Leuzinger possession. That was the big turnover they were looking for, and it couldn't have come at a more opportune time for them.
Absolutely. Here you see it again. The pitch to Harper going toward the out-of-bounds marker, and the Leuzinger defender jumps on it, and it's 1st down Olympians.
So I formation, the Olympians come out, keeping the ball on the ground. And for the Olympians, that's Henry Benz.
Brings the ball out across the 20-yard line.
Turnovers, at least in this case, don't give you instant points. What Leuzinger now has to do is take control offensively, mount a good drive, and get back into this football game.
They desperately need points as they trail by a score of 22-14. We're under a minute left in the 1st quarter, in the 3rd quarter here. Olympians come up to the line of scrimmage on I formation. Zach Odom takes the snap, pitches back to the 2nd man through, and he picks up great yardage. That's number 12, Damon Whitmore. And that play takes them out to the 36-yard line, and that's a first down for the Olympians.
Here you see the replay. Damon Whitmore with a pitch in the backfield down the left-hand side. Running for the first down. Good run by Damon Whitmore, shaking off several tacklers on the way to the first down.
And, of course, a couple of more key running plays like that, and the Olympians can go to their passing game. Here we see Quan Banks split out on the right end. Officials stop the play before the ball is snapped. We'll have to see what the call is here. But the Olympians finally are starting to mount some offense. Let's see if they can keep it going. Alex, your thoughts at this point?
My thoughts are that the Olympians need more big key turnovers. The big plays are what spark the Olympians. That's how they got their points up on the board, by recovering the ball, by forcing over the turnovers. The defense needs to keep doing that. Keep keying, knocking the ball out of the ball carrier's arms and turning the ball over to the offense. Once they got that going, then that boosts up the emotion, the intensity's up, and the offense is ready for some big yards like you just seen. Whitmore is taking over, and Odom needs to go more to the air. I think, like the newspapers say, Odom's going to be a key part. All they need is one touchdown. They're a touchdown away from tying this ball game up, and Odom's going to be a key part of that.
Got to be a little frustrated if you're the Santa Monica coach, because they have had several opportunities to really blow this game wide open in both the first half and second half, and have turned over the ball to Leuzinger to keep the Olympians in the game.
And it is a first down for the Olympians. It's a 1st and 10 for the Olympians now. And on the first down play, Odom drops back to pass. He's got a receiver in the flat. That's Henry Benz. And Benz picks up excellent first down yardage as he brings the ball to the midfield stripe.
About 14 yards.
So on that play, the Olympians pick up approximately 14 yards. The ball is just inside Viking territory. Here we see the replay again. Henry Benz with the reception, and he picks up excellent yardage after he makes the reception.
That's something we don't see. Excuse me. That's something we don't see too much from the Olympian offense. They're going to Henry Benz for the sure-handed, quick yards that they need. Usually he gets handed off the ball, not a pass.
Olympians at the line of scrimmage. This time they fake the pass, and Odom tosses incomplete. They say he was down here.
Zach Odom is sacked for a loss on the 45.
And that's the end of 3 quarters. So after 3 quarters, the score stands. The visiting Santa Monica Vikings leading the home field Leuzinger Olympians by a score of 22-14. But the Olympians are on the move as they open the 4th quarter.
As you said, Rufus, just a while ago, Leuzinger now, by getting some distance between them and their own goal line, is able to pass or run, and that gives them more options, obviously, against this tough Santa Monica defense. Now the Leuzinger in Viking territory as we start the 3rd, 4th quarter. Again, a big series. Got to get back in this game early. Don't want to give the ball back to Santa Monica without some points after that turnover.
On that play, Corey, they lost about 4 yards back into their own territory. So actually they're at their own 46-yard line on a drive that started just inside the midfield stripe on the Santa Monica side of the field. They go to the air. There's the pass, and it's incomplete. An excellent attempt by Jeff Lighton on the catch. It's going to bring up a 3rd down play for the Olympians now. It's about 3rd and 14 for the Olympians. They need to get the ball down to the Santa Monica 40-yard line to keep this drive alive.
Number 55, Willie Johnson, with a big hit for Santa Monica Vikings. Making sure that pass was incomplete. Odom threw the ball a little bit high, and the receivers hate that because that stretches them out in front of those linebackers, and linebackers' eyes get really big, like Mike Singletary of the Bears.
You see Tyrone Scott split out to one end now. They drop back to pass, and this pass is going to fall incomplete.
Odom's pass intended for number 21,
and it's a 4th down. And the kicking unit comes on the field. Jeff Loudon, of course, handles the punting duties for the Olympians. And at least this time, as they punt away, Santa Monica will be getting the ball deep in their own territory. Hopefully, Leuzinger can hold them defensively, giving them an opportunity to recover the ball back in good position. But that's speculation at this point. The main thing now is to get the punt off. It's a bit of a high snap, almost blocked. But there it is, taken at about the 20-yard line. And brought down at about the 25. There's a flag on the play by the official. I'm not sure what he's going to call here.
On the play, on the stop for the Olympians. Number 41, Thomas Gordon.
Looks like in the area where maybe there was an illegal block by the Santa Monica defense as they were waiting for that punt.
No, he's calling a personal foul against the Olympian.
Penalized 15 yards for unsportsmanlike conduct.
There may have been a spearing penalty there. That's about the only thing I could imagine. Of course, those 15 yards are going to hurt. That's going to bring the ball way out to the 43-yard line. So that ball was originally blown dead at the 28, 15 yards tacked on it. Gives Santa Monica excellent field position once again. With 11 minutes and 40 seconds left in the contest in which Santa Monica is leading. And of course now, as you can expect, they're going to their ground game. That's Mark Harper with the carry. And Harper's going to be stopped after a short gain.
Mark Harper must hate Saturday mornings. He's taking a beating out there. He takes a beating every week because he's the workhorse, but he's a good back. Running the ball very well. Here.
Excuse me, Corey, it just brought to mind a back that we covered last year for Santa Monica, Glenn Milburn, who was leading rusher in the state. I was watching Oklahoma on TV this past weekend, and Milburn is running back punts right now for Oklahoma. I'm sure one day he'll be a part of their rushing attack. He's a freshman. He's waiting his turn. Of course, Oklahoma goes 5-6 deep at every position, but at least Glenn Milburn is seeing some playing time, and that's a fine tribute to the football program at Santa Monica.
Yeah, and he must feel right at home at Oklahoma because he ran the ball a lot last year, and Oklahoma not known for their passing game either.
Not at all. Not at all. So it's a third down, approximately 2 yards for Santa Monica. As we see him keep the ball on the ground and break it through for a big gain. That's Damian Lunetta, who pops the ball down to inside the 30-yard line of the Olympians. So they're threatening the Olympian goal line once again. We see it on the replay here. Damian Lunetta, Tim Camilo in on the tackle. Tim Camilo and Tyrone Scott there to stop it for the Olympians. We see Tyrone Scott coming off the field. I'm sure they're wanting to try to preserve him for some offense. And on the first down play, there's the pitch to Mark Harper. They string out the play, and they're able to bring Harper down after a short gain of about 3 yards.
Harper tries.
Leuzinger defense has been on the field quite a bit this game, and they've got to be getting tired. But then the flip side of that is that means the Santa Monica offense has been on the field a lot, and so they're just as tired. But as I said, offenses usually late in the game when they're running the ball seem to get stronger. The running game seems to get stronger as opposed to the defense getting stronger.
So it's a second down and about 8 yards for Santa Monica here. Once again, keeping the ball on the ground. They push it forward, close to a first down. That's Damian Lunetta.
First down yardage.
It's going to be...
Stop for Leuzinger. Number 33.
We'll see where they spot it. Looks like it may be about a yard short. And they do mark it about a yard short. Third down. Ball's at the 22-yard line, the Leuzinger Olympians. Once again, their defense being pressed very hard to come up with the big play. Of course, they've done it earlier in the game. On turnovers, we'll have to see, and the ball play is blown dead. And in comes the flag, and we'll see what the call is.
When you're a team like Santa Monica that's been running the ball so well the whole game, when you get down into Leuzinger end of the field, you've almost got 4 downs every time because they're going to run the ball. If they're within 2 or 3 yards of a first down, they're probably going to go for it almost every time on 4th down because they have such confidence in their running game.
And of course, we see the Leuzinger penalty there, encroachment on that play. Give Santa Monica a first down, and that's not what you want to do. You don't want to give away first downs. A mental mistake there cost them. So it's a first down play for Santa Monica now. They keep the ball on the ground to Harper. There he goes into the end zone. Unmolested.
Touchdown, Samoa.
Samoa High now leads by a score of 28-14 with the extra point attempt coming up. And a bit of the starch. And a bit of the starch has been taken out of this, out of the Santa Monica, out of the Leuzinger crowd as they fall deafeningly silent now. And There's a snap, the placement, the kick is up,
Ellsworth conversion is
and it's no good. They whistle no good. And that's important to the Olympians. That keeps them within striking distance. They're 2 touchdowns and 2 extra points away. So actually, they're in a position, if they can score and score quickly, to win. But, folks, there are only 8 minutes, 42 seconds left in the game. Can the home field Olympians somehow reach down into that reserve of intensity, of effort, of desire, and pull this game out? Here we see the replay with Harper going in virtually unmolested. And that's his 4th touchdown, Alex.
That's Mark Harper's 4th touchdown of the ball game, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 26 of the season. So right now it's the Mark Harper show on the ground, and it seems to be the Damian Lunetta show in the air.
The Leuzinger
Olympians are now pressed to score, and score quickly. I'm sorry, Corey.
As I was going to say, they have to score, but then they have to come on the field and play defense. And last few times Santa Monica's had the ball, they have run the ball at will.
And there's the kickoff. It's going to be taken by Quan Banks, it looks like. And Banks has some running room. He gets the ball out to about the 30-yard line.
Returns it 23 yards to the 30, where he's dropped on the play.
And I see the receivers coming on the field offensively for Leuzinger. There's Tyrone Scott coming out. Jeff Loudon is coming out there. Quan Banks is coming off for a moment, I'm sure, to catch a breather after that play. But I think you should expect to see him back.
Number 13, Joe Felix.
They're just going to have to let Tyrone Scott run and let Zach Odom put the ball up in the air. There's a fake pass, and Odom is going to be sacked. It's taking simply too long to get it underway. Of course, the crowd is screaming at the Leuzinger offensive line for not blocking. However, in all fairness to the offensive line, you can just look at those Samoa High players, and they are huge.
And they're pouring up the middle. Zach Odom is getting absolutely no time to throw the ball. There you see it. Willie Johnson, number 55, coming right up the middle. There's not much Zach Odom can do when he's got pressure on him immediately. He turns around. First thing he sees are Santa Monica defenders.
So it's a 2nd down and long for the Leuzinger Olympians, about 14. 2nd down and 14 for the Olympians. Once again, they drop back the pass. Odom is being pressured again. He lays it out. Quan Banks is out there. This may be a touchdown. He's going. He's got one man to beat. He's going to make a touchdown, Olympians. And they do it. Just as we thought it. There's a flag on the play, however. There is a flag on the play. There is a flag on the play, folks. It looks like this one may come back.
Flag on the play.
They're bringing it back. They're going to bring it back, folks.
And again, the Go Leuzinger cheer comes up on the side of the Olympians, and that's a devastating play for Leuzinger to have that called back. Big touchdown by Quan Banks, but it's going to come back now. You see here the reception that never was.
And we hear firecrackers going off on the side. Once again, some of the more ignorant, and I will use those precise terms, I know they're very strong, ignorant Leuzinger fans are destroying what's a pleasurable outing for most people with rude, uncivilized behavior. And they scored a touchdown. After an official huddle, we're unsure what happened. The Samoa High coach is absolutely livid. Absolutely livid. He thought sure that penalty was against the Olympians. The officials went to the middle of the field. They had what looked like an hours-long conference, but out of it came a Leuzinger touchdown. On the Leuzinger side of the field, they're ecstatic.
And so we can look at it again, the long touchdown to Quan Banks right over the middle, and he just outruns the Santa Monica defender. And it's the touchdown that was, and Leuzinger right back in it. You need big plays like that, and they pulled it off at just the right time.
And I hate to say I told you so, but I've said several times this season after seeing Quan Banks early, here comes an important extra point attempt by Angel Andrade, and it's good. It's good. So it's 7 minutes, 29 seconds left in the contest. The Leuzinger Olympians trail by a score of 28-21. However, their offense seems to have gotten untracked, and they're on the board once again with a chance. But once again, it falls to the defense. to play good hard-nosed defense and to stop the Samo High running game. But as I look at the Olympian side of the field, along their sideline, their players are suddenly inspired again. The crowd is inspired again, and they're trying to transfer some more of that crowd energy down to the players. Let's see what happens on this all-important kickoff here.
Just like I told you there, Rufus, all night long, the Olympians only need one big play. A fumble, a turnover, a completion. That's what it takes to get Olympians up and get them up on the board.
And there's the kickoff. Angel Andrade got some of that enthusiasm as he kicks it down near the goal line. They bring it out to about the 20, and it's going to be stuffed in the area of the 20-yard line.
Returns the kickoff to about the 28-yard line where he stopped by number 32, Henry Benz.
Ball is spotted out at about the 28-yard line, they say. 1st and 10 for Santa Monica from there.
It's not like the Vikings from Santa Monica are unbeaten, though. They have been beaten in the Bay League. They were beat by Palos Verdes, 36-24, but that, of course, was in the daytime at Palos Verdes. So they are beatable.
And they kick the ball on the ground. Oh, my goodness. Mark Harper's gone. Tim Camille is maybe the only man who can catch him. He's giving it a heck of a pursuit. It's not going to be enough, though. He tries, and that's a touchdown. Mark Harper, 77-yard touchdown run.
So just as soon as Leuzinger gets a big play to get back into the game, Santa Monica answers them with a big play of their own. Mark Harper having an unbelievable football game, and again, as you said, unmolested up the middle.
Easy come, easy go.
Well, it was basically a foot race there. Mark Harper put it in gear and outraced two of the fastest Olympians on the team, Richie Jacobs and Quan Banks.
And there's the extra point attempt. It's up, and it's good.
And with 7 minutes precisely in the game remaining.
With 7 minutes exactly left in the game, Santa Monica now leads by a score of 35-21. And boy, that was a big, big blow to the Olympian hopes here. I mean, just a big blow. And I can only say there was a breakdown on defense. Everybody in the stadium knows that Mark Harper. Here we see the replay. You see him burst through the line.
Absolutely untouched.
Tim Camillo giving pursuit and unable to catch him.
That was another big offensive production by Mark Harper, the tailback from Santa Monica. He's just duplicating his effort that he did against Hawthorne. Against Hawthorne, he scored 5 touchdowns, and he's doing an exact Xerox copy here tonight. 5 touchdowns against the Olympians.
Guess Mark wants to show that he's an equal opportunity destroyer, because that's what he's done. He's destroyed the Leuzinger hopes tonight almost single-handedly, as well as he did against Hawthorne.
Can I use that one again? Equal opportunity destroyer. I like that.
And we see Quan Banks being hit hard at the 20-yard line. So it's a 1st down and 10 for the Leuzinger Olympians. At the 20-yard line, that was Damon Whitmore, I think they're calling on the kickoff return.
10 yards to go. The ball is on about the 19.
Don't want to bury Leuzinger prematurely here with 6:49 and counting left in the game. Plenty of time to get back into it, but this Santa Monica team, it looks the most impressive team I've seen all year covering Leuzinger or Hawthorne. Going to be very tough when the CIF playoffs roll around.
And the Olympians split 3 receivers to the right side. I don't understand this formation. Oh, there it is. There's the second pass. And it's incomplete. That's what the play was. A trick play, a double pass. Zach Odom passed to Tyrone Scott. Tyrone Scott attempted to pass to, was that Richard Jacobs, Alex? That pass was intended for?
Yes.
Pretty much made it kind of hard for Richie Jacobs to come up with that because he was double teamed. It was just a shot pass out there to their left-handed receiver there, Tyrone Scott. He couldn't quite get it out there, couldn't quite pinpoint it. He was in the area, but it just was nullified by the defensive efforts by Santa Monica.
And it's a 2nd down and 10 for the Olympians now. And they're back in pass coverage offense. There's a pass out in the flat, and that's going to be smelled out. You've got to go deep. That's all I can say. You know, you either got to go over the middle, but the passes in the flat simply string the play out too far, gives the defense a chance to come up on it.
Number 4, Jerry Black, you see him sniff this screen pass out all the way. Damon Whitmore takes it, but he's tackled right as he catches the ball. 202-pound senior from Santa Monica.
One thing that will be improving after tonight's ball game will be the rankings. Coming into this ball game, Leuzinger was ranked 4th in the Division II CIF Southern Section. Santa Monica was ranked 5th.
Here's a big third down play for the Olympians here. Zach Odom drops back to pass. He does have some time. His receiver falls down. There's no flag on the play.
Odom's pass intended for number 33 Henry Vince falls incomplete.
So Leuzinger will be forced to punt on the big 4th down play because they're deep in their own territory. There's 6 minutes, 12 seconds left in the contest, folks, and our home Leuzinger Olympians are trailing by a score of 35-21, and that's the most points that have been scored against them this season. And here's Loudon's punt attempt. He gets it up. It's going to be good. There's no return man back at all for Santa Monica. And the ball lands squarely on the 50-yard line.
At the midfield stripe, where Sunlight will take over, first down, 10 yards to go.
So from the 50-yard line with 6 minutes, 3 seconds left in the contest, it's going to be first down and 10 for Santa Monica as they try to put the finishing touches on what would appear to be a victory for them tonight. Of course, if they do prevail, that will drop the Leuzinger record to 8-1-1 overall, 5-1-1 as they finish the season in the Bay League.
First down 10 for the Santa Monica Vikings.
What does that do for Santa Monica's record, Alex, if they win? And here we see them break it again as we turned our heads. Folks, that's the ball game. That's Damian Lunetta there. 51-yard touchdown run. And the Olympian faithful are totally dispirited now as the score goes to 41-21. This game is out of sight for the Olympians. You can chalk this one up in the loss column. I hate to be a soothsayer of bad news, but folks, that's what this is. This is bad news. This is a nightmare. And more importantly, this is over.
Well, the old line is kill the messenger, but the messenger who's killing the Olympians today, Damian Lunetta and Mark Harper.
The conversion attempt is blocked.
Small victories there. Conversion is blocked. 41-21 Santa Monica. And definitely the most impressive team we've seen offensively all year, Santa Monica. There you see Damian Lunetta right up the middle, again, untouched.
And it seems like the Olympian linebackers just fell asleep where they don't exist. It seems like there's no line. The Vikings are making it look so easy that they will boost up their overall record to 7-2 and claim the championship with a 6-1 record.
And just 2 short weeks ago, the Olympians had the Bay League Championship clearly in their sights when they were 8-0 overall, and I believe it was, 5-0 in the league. And last week, of course, they suffered what was a moral defeat, although it ended up being an actual tie with Hawthorne 13-13. Tonight, they've been clearly beaten, and they're a beaten and battered team. And on the squib kick is taken by one of the upbacks, who's going to bring the ball out to about the 33-yard line. So from the 33-yard line with 5 minutes, 41 seconds left in the contest, let's see what the Olympians can salvage and what has been an otherwise disappointing night as they played for the Bay League Championship and came up short.
We got to call this man's name. Number 33, the upback took that kick. Corey Stewart.
Well, I think one thing Santa Monica knows now is that the Olympians have no choice but to pass. And there it is, Tyrone Scott. He's got a shot. He cuts back to the inside. Picks up excellent yardage.
Scott, who brings it across midfield, down to about the 30-yard line.
Tackled by number 24, A.D. Williams, but not until a big pickup by Tyrone Scott on a very dangerous pass that was nearly intercepted in the flat, but went for big yardage. Here you see it. And there you see the Santa Monica defender flying by, but Tyrone Scott off to the races.
Number 24, A.D. Williams.
Well, pretty much the Olympians right now are just playing for pride. There's no way they're going to come up with 20-something points and tie the Santa Monica Vikings.
And here they keep it on the ground, giving it to Damon Whitmore. I'm sorry, that may not have been Damon Whitmore. Number 24, Tim Camille. I'm sorry. Picks up 2 yards on the carry. I think you'll see the Olympians go back to the air now as they attempt to score quickly. There are 4 minutes, 40 seconds left in the contest, folks. Santa Monica leads by a score of 41-21 as they have wrapped up the 1988 Bay League Championship. Here's the pass out in the flat, and is tackled after picking up the first down. That's Quan Banks on the reception for the Olympians.
First and 10, Leuzinger.
You look at the bigger picture now, as you said, Rufus, very succinctly. Last week was a moral defeat, if nothing else, even though it was a tie to Hawthorne. This week, a big defeat to Santa Monica. You hate to stagger into the playoffs, and that's exactly what Leuzinger is doing.
And tonight they've simply been outplayed by a much larger Santa Monica team. Plain and simple. And here's the run by number 12, Damon Whitmore. And he's inside the 10-yard line. And folks, with 4 minutes left in the contest, 4 minutes, 8 seconds. It's a case of too little, too late. Of course, you know that well by now, so I won't harp on that fact anymore. Let's see, as Alex said, that they're playing for pride here. What kind of pride can the Olympians muster up? As Corey said, they don't want to stagger in. Maybe they can put together a couple of drives that can give them some intensity that they'll be able to carry over into some other contests. There's Zach Odom going in for the score. That makes it 41-27 with the extra point attempt coming up here.
And the thing you have to wonder about is, where were those plays in the third quarter? When you really desperately need them, you don't know you're going to get beat by 20-something points, but you sure could have used those points up there handedly in the third or second quarters.
Here you see the replay. Zach Odom right up the middle, fakes the handoff, takes it himself.
It's kind of like in basketball, however. That was almost a concession touchdown at this point in the contest. There are 3 minutes, 44 seconds left. There's Angel Andrade's kick. It's up, and it's good. That makes the score 41, Santa Monica, 28, Leuzinger.
Again, now the kicking game coming into focus in a different light. You have to see how good Angel Andrade is at onside kickoffs, because that, unless something really strange happens now, is exactly what you're going to see coming up next.
I think that's a very good call, Corey, because that's what you are going to see. And Santa Monica seems to have 5 men up within extra point, in the onside area. I'm not certain that's enough. Leuzinger may be able to snuff this thing out. All it has to travel is 10 yards. We're going to see. And, oh, they kick it away. Very surprisingly, they kick it away. And on the kick away, it's driven out of bounds at about the 23-yard line.
I'm sorry, Rufus. You're being older than I am, have got a lot more experience. Maybe you can explain to me why the onside kick wasn't used, because I can't think of one reason why you wouldn't want an onside kick with just over 3 minutes to go in the football game.
I can only guess that he decided to kick it away, hope for a turnover on the kickoff, get the ball deep in his own territory. That's not going to happen. However, Mark Harper is hit very hard right on the initial handoff.
I think one of the main reasons, to get back to that subject about the onside kick, is that the Olympians virtually don't have no use for it. They're always up by this time. They're always in the driver's seat, and they got the advantage. So maybe an onside kick might turn out to go against them, seeing how Andrade isn't too well trained in that area. So kick it off and hope for a turnover.
It's one of those little things that you probably practice maybe once a week, and that you should probably practice more than that, because as you see right now, they didn't have enough confidence in it, in Andrade, to go to it.
And there was a loss on the play, makes it a 2nd down and 12 for Santa Monica. Once again, they go around the left side, and the ground game picks up Almost enough for the first down. If you're going to kick away, you've got to be able to play good, solid defense to hold them. There are 2 minutes, 30 seconds and moving left in the contest. It's 3rd down and 1 for Santa Monica. They're leading by a score of 41-28.
And you're exactly right. If you're playing good defense, then you've got the confidence to kick away. But Santa Monica has run wild in this second half. I can't think of any reason why you wouldn't go for the onside kickoff.
So it's a 3rd and 1 for Santa Monica now. We're at the 2-minute mark left in the contest. Samo High signals for a timeout here.
Well, I will admit it, coming into this ball game, I've been keeping track of Santa Monica from their games aside from the Leuzinger Hawthorne teams we have been covering. I went to the Daily Breeze today, I got all the statistics, and I was pretty scared for the Olympians. I had a feeling that Santa Monica would run away with at least a 10-point victory. But seeing how it started to rain, I would think that it would even out and be more balanced. The rain stopped, and so did the Olympians. So Mother Nature probably was on the Olympian side, but she just held up, and Santa Monica took over from there.
Excellent commentary, Alex. Let me go back to a point that Corey made earlier for the fans as well. Channel 60 Sports will be with you. We'll be with the Olympians throughout the playoff season, the Olympians and the Hawthorne Cougars. And of course, our general policy is that we stay with the team that goes the farthest. We start out our initial coverage with Leuzinger, and we'll see what happens. So stay tuned, follow your newspapers, and you'll find out where we're going to be as soon as the playoff pairings are announced and site locations are announced. But you will see more high school football right here on Channel 60.
We took that literally last year. Leuzinger went the farthest. They went about 4.5 hours north to Arroyo Grande and got beat by the eventual winner of the entire CIF 3A. Santa Monica this year looks stronger and bigger than that Arroyo Grande team looked last year. It was a very big team that Leuzinger went up against last year. And this Santa Monica team, as we've said a few times, averaging 225 pounds on the offensive line. That's a massive offensive line for high school football.
And if you're going to reference that game, Corey, I feel compelled to reference the fact that the Olympians were the victims of some very poor officiating in that game. They played a very competent game. They were very competitive the whole game. However, there were extremely questionable calls throughout the course of the contest that swung it in their favor.
And here with 1:36 left to
very close to the midfield stripe. On the stop for the Olympians.
And as we come back to live action, it's a 2nd down and approximately 1 for Santa Monica. They're at the 48-yard line of the Leuzinger Olympians. There's 51 seconds and counting left in the contest. Santa Monica's wrapped it up quite some time ago. They're leading by a score of 41-28 here. They're keeping the ball on the ground as they usually do. And they pick up the first down. That's Harper. Clock stops as we spot the ball for the first down. However, when it restarts, there should be only 1 or 2 more plays left in this contest.
I think I'm going to buy you some zebra stripes, Rufus, because you seem to like to talk about the officiating a lot. I think we're going to put you down on the field some week and see if you can root the Olympians home.
No, I enjoy too much being up here from this vantage point because those guys play much too rough for my taste.
Well, it's all over now, Rufus. The players seem to soak into reality. They're suffering their first loss of the season, and right now the 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Santa Monica just beat the Olympians on the field.
There it is. They won the game, and the Santa Monica faithful celebrate in high style as they won by a score of 41-28 over the Leuzinger Olympians. And with